I want to kind of go through what these words are, because I think a lot of people look at a story problem and say, forget it. But if I always read them twice, I say, okay, I'm going to read through this. Read it with me, and I know you don't want to, but I'm going to ask you to do it with me, okay? The dimensions, say it. Hey, the dimensions of a rectangular print can be represented by x minus 2 and 2x plus 1. Write an expression that models the area of the print. What is its area if x is 4 inches? Let's go back and say, okay, what do dimensions mean in this rectangle? What does that mean? Dimensions mean what? Yes, Chuck. Yeah, they do, length, width, and height. But since we're just talking about area here, we have just length and width, dimensions, okay? What does expression mean in math, in algebra? What's an expression? I'm sorry, Chris, say it again. Right, let's say it like that. It's an equation, but it doesn't have an equal sign. It's just the number in the variable part. So I would say an expression has no equals, basically. It's an equation with no equal sign. Okay, it's just a part of it. All right, let's keep going. That models the area of the print. What is its area if x is 4? How do I find area of a rectangle? How do I find area of a rectangle? Okay, length times width, correct? So I have to multiply. So I'm just kind of making sure I pick out all the important words here before I start this problem. So now I'm going to draw a picture because it's rectangular. It just helps to draw a picture. And I know that its dimensions are this, x minus 2 and 2x plus 1. So it doesn't matter where you put them. If you flip-flop these two, it doesn't make a difference. Okay? The question is, what is its area? Okay, so I got to model the area. The modeling the area with an expression. Area means I have to multiply. Correct? So I got to multiply this times this. Do you see that? So I'm going to make a box. I got to multiply the length and the width. So I'm going to make a box. X minus 2, 2x, and 1. 2x squared minus 4x, 1x, and negative 2. Okay? I got to simplify this, and I will have my expression. I put a yellow line there because these two terms are the same, so they need to be combined, correct? So my expression is going to be 2x squared plus what? Plus negative 3x plus negative 2. There is my expression. It's modeling the area. That's all I can do for that. The second part says, what is its area if x is 4 inches? So what do I do then to solve that? X equals 4. I take that and plug it into here. Okay? So I'm going to do that. 2 times 4 squared plus negative 3 times 4 plus 2. Now here's where a lot of mistakes came in on the quiz. People weren't following order of operations. What do you do first in this term? You square first. What's 4 squared? 16 times 2 is 32. Plus negative 12 plus, this is supposed to be a negative 2, isn't it? I wrote it wrong. Do you see that? Negative 2 plus negative 2. All right, then you just do the math. 32 plus negative 12 plus negative 2, and you end up with, there's not a lot of room here, so I'm going to say the area equals 18 inches squared, and that's my answer. So if you kind of pick it apart with what these things mean, it sort of helps you set it up, okay? All right, so hey, here's we're moving on to chapter 9. You see this thing up here? Yes, Mrs. Burgess, I see that. Yeah. This is what you've been doing, right? Multiplying this binomial times this binomial, yes? and getting a trinomial. Do you understand what I'm saying when I say that? This binomial times this. These are factors of that, because when I multiply them together, I get that. Well, look, now you're getting the trinomial, and you're going to have to come up with the factors. You're going to have to come up with the two binomials. So we're kind of going the other way. So that's kind of what we're doing here. It's not too bad. This time, instead of multiplying two binomials to get a trinomial, we are given a trinomial and have to find the factors that multiply together to get that trinomial. So we're looking for these now. So I'm going to find out what we fill that with. That's what I'm going to find out. Okay? All right. I'm a step follower. You may not be, but I am, and I wrote them out if you need it. Maybe you don't. It looks like a whole lot of steps, but it really gets pretty quick once you get used to it. So the first thing you do is set up a 2x2 box. You put the first and the last term in the box. This time we're starting inside the box. So the first term is x squared, and the last term is 2. So those go in the box. Then you make a diamond. Okay, on top here is the multiply. That means multiply. Okay, so what I'm going to do is I'm going to multiply the first and the last term. Multiplied. I'll write it out here. You say, Mrs. Burgess, well, what is this number? This number is what? This is a 1, right? What is 1x squared times 2? 1x squared times 2. What does that equal? 2x squared. That's what goes there. And then down here is just your middle term. This is your middle term. That's this right here. 3x. Oh! You guys have worked with diamonds. We got to figure out what these boxes are. So, remember, this is addition, this is multiply. So, what times what will give me 2x squared, but adds to 3x? Does anybody know? 1x and what? 2x. Correct. 1x and 2x. Katie, stay with me. 1x and 2x, okay? So these are what goes in my boxes here. And it doesn't matter if you flip-flop these. It makes no difference. You still get the same answer. Ah. So that's what goes there. So now let's see, where are we? The two numbers you came up with go into the box with the variable next to them because they make up the middle term when added. Step 6, look at the first row. So now you're just going to look at the first row here. What can you divide out of each term? An x. This has an x and that has an x. I can pull out an x. So you put that outside. Okay. Now, this is like a box, right? An area of what times x gives me x squared? That goes up here. X times x gives me x squared. It seems like a lot to remember, but it's quick once you get going on it. Then you go to this box. X times what gives me 1x? That 1 goes here. In this box is 2x. X times what gives me 2x? X times what? Yeah. 2 times x gives me 2x. And then you always check that 2 times 1 equals 2. So you're kind of just filling up the outside. We're done. We have the factors. Can anybody guess what they are? Isn't this sweet? This, x plus 1, is one of the factors, and this is the other factor, x plus 2. So you fill that into your binomial here. X plus 1, x plus 2. And these are the factors. And they equal that. So we're going to do it a little quicker next time. It doesn't really take that long once you get going on it. Okay, so let's do it again. I got to find the factors of t squared plus 9t plus 14. So I'm going to set up my box. I'm following the steps. I'm going to put t squared and 14 in my box. Then I'm going to make my diamond. What goes up here? What goes up here is the first term times the last term. T squared times 14 is 14t squared. Remember, this is multiply up here. What goes down here is the middle term, 9t. And then you complete the diamond. This is where it gets kind of hard for people, because if you don't know your times tables, it's kind of a drag. But if you don't know them, you can just play on the calculator until you find the right ones. Okay? Factors of 14. What are factors of 14? 7 and 2, right? 7 and 2. 7 and 2 add to 9. So 7t, 2t. Then these go here and here. So 7t, 2t. Then what do? Yeah, your first row. Look at the first row. You could pull out a what? A t and a t. What times t gives you 7t? 7. And then what times t gives you 2t? 2. And you have your factors. And you fill in your binomials here. Isn't that sweet? So this times this equals that. Okay? So now, what do you multiply together to get 3x squared? Yeah. Somebody can do it. You could say 1x and 3x, right? But that would give me a positive 4. I need a negative. So as Katie said, I need negative 1x and negative 3x. Because negative 1 times negative 3 add to negative 4. Because remember, you got to remember, this is multiply and this is add. And then you put those in your box. And you pull out an x, an x. You have to attach. All right, and then this is negative 1. What would go down here? Negative 3. Let's ask myself, does negative 3 times negative 1 give me positive 3? Yeah. So I did it right. So my factors are x minus 1 and x minus 3. These are my factors. Okay? And then I'm done. Let's do one more of these. We got 2 more, and we story problem. Okay, same thing. You want to try it? Try it on your own. Try this one on your own. I'll just get the stuff here, and then you guys finish it. On the quiz on the top, please. Yeah. Okay, you finish that. Negative 7x and 4x. Okay? All right, so let's fill those in. You're going to pull out an x goes up there. This is negative 7, and this is 4. Then you just check 4 times negative 7 equals negative 28. Yes, it does. So my factors are going to be x minus 7 and x plus 4. These are the factors, okay? All right, let's move on. Don't get rid of this because we're going to work on it tomorrow too, so don't get rid of these notes. Let's do this one though. I'm going to start this one and not finish it. All right, we're going to read it all together first, and then we're going to break it apart a little bit. All right, let's go. I want to hear your voices. Wake up. You are designing a flag for the football team with the dimensions shown in the diagram. The shaded region will show the team name. The flag requires 117 square inches of fabric. Find the width W of the flag. Okay, let's start with this one. You're designing a flag for the football team with the dimensions. Again, what are dimensions? Length and width. Let's just write that down. Length and width. The shaded region will show the team name. Maybe that's important. I'm going to write here, team name. I don't know. Maybe it's important, maybe it's not, but I'm going to fill that in the drawing. Maybe I need that. Okay, let's look at this one. The flag requires 117 square inches of fabric. What does that tell me about this problem? What do you think? Pardon me? Nathan.
The area is 117.
I couldn't have said it better myself. This says the flag requires 117 square inches. So if you're going to make this flag, this is how much fabric you need. That means that the area is 117 square inches. Okay? Find the width W of the flag. I need W. I need to find W. That's my goal. Okay. How do you find area of something? Of a rectangle? Length times width. So I'm going to write that down here. Let me start my problem. Do I already know what the area is? What is it? So I'm going to substitute 117 for A. Can I look at my picture and let's say this is length and this is going to be my width, obviously. We have to determine what my length is. What is my length with the information they gave me here? Okay, I have this piece and I have this piece. So that means I have W plus 2 plus 2. So what's my total length? Total, is W plus 4. So that's my length. I got to put that in parentheses. And then I got to multiply it by my width. What's my width? W. Now you got it set up. If you read it and break it apart, it helps a lot. Okay, let's see what we can do. We can distribute that W. And since this section is all about factoring, I'm probably going to have to factor this. I can't factor it unless it's set equal to 0. So I'm going to subtract 117 from both sides. This would be 0 equals W squared plus 4W minus 117. Now it looks like what I've been working with. So I'm going to set up my box. I'm going to set up my diamond. In the top box goes negative 117W squared. In the bottom box goes 4W. Ooh. I wouldn't know how to do this in my head. Maybe some of you do. I'd get out a calculator, I'd put in 117, and just start dividing by numbers until I start getting whole numbers and see if they add together to 4. Does anybody have any idea what it is? Should I just tell you? Yeah. It's negative 9 and 13. So if I did 13 times negative 9, I get negative 117, and that adds together to 4. Yeah, yeah. So I'm going to put those in my box. Almost done. And then I'm going to finish it. W, W, negative 9, 13. So what I have now is I'm going to bring down my 0 equals W minus 9 times W plus 13. Now we're not done yet. We haven't found W, but you're just going to have to wait till tomorrow to find out what W is. I know you're excited about that.